Thank you, baby. Hello, guys. I don't think I'm live. I don't know if anybody's watching because it was kind of a last minute um live stream. So hello, Hector Lujan. How are you? Love, light, and blessings. Just wanted to do a live stream today because my channel hit over 1,000 subscribers. So it's my way of thanking you guys for being subscribers and watching my channel. So I wanted to do a Q&A, just a quick Q&A today. And also wanted to share some hoodoo tips because I went to the dollar store today, really to buy Easter stuff for the kids, but I ended up buying other stuff too at the same time. Oh, you're welcome, Terrence Tyson. I'm so glad that you found that video enlightening and it helped you. So I wanted to share because I always say in my channel that you don't need fancy things to practice. Well, at least in African traditional religious practices, espiritismo, and things like that. I can't speak on other paths, but like for instance, altar cloths. I got these all for $1. And it's long, like you can use it on the actual altar. It's really pretty. Like there's spirits that like the color gold, so you can even do it to a shrine. Or like if I was to do something with prosperity, I can use this on a prosperity altar. I bought a red one, which is good for love, passion, protection. And I bought a black one, which also could be good for protection, hexing, transformation, or ancestral work. So got those today. Because I know they sell like those really fancy altar cloths in those like metaphysical stores and stuff like that. I know. And you know, you can go to the dollar store and get like really nice altar cloths. Like they're good. And if you mess them up with candle wax or something, you're not going to be as sad. And I also got like 4 metal trays because I burn a lot of candles. Like I'll put water on this, sand or something, because I use a lot of novena candles and they're kind of scary to leave on. Like, yes, I do watch them for the most part, but like sometimes I do have to leave my spirit room. And if God forbid a candle bursts or something, this is metal. It's going to protect the tablecloth. It's going to protect it from flammable stuff. And if you put a little bit of water, because you can see it's a little deep, if let's say something happens, it will turn off the candle immediately. It's like you don't have to worry about a fire. So I always have metal trays underneath all my novena candles when I'm doing anything. They're also good for like those glassless candles or figurine candles. So, and they're good to read. I like to read figurine because the way it melts will be how you interpret if the spell's working. If you need to do another spell, it'll tell you about, you know, like if it's going to work immediately or the result's going to be slow. Like you can do a reading on the wax. So I like to use these for that too. So, and because it costs $1, if I have to get rid of it, it's not going to hurt me any. So, and then I got these, they're $1 candle lighters. So I bought like 4 of them because I go through them a lot. I'm going to be doing on my future videos, I wanted to do a do-it-yourself series. So like not spells, but like how to create floor washes. So if you want to cleanse your house spiritually, I will do videos on how you would charge the floor washes, abundance rituals in that sense, like maybe me actually doing things for myself, not for clients. I would never videotape that, but like me actually doing stuff for myself, like me not telling you everything, but me sharing like a ritual, like so you can do it at home. Like maybe you want to create your own floor washes and you don't know how to put energy into it and stuff like that, or create like a spiritual bath. Like, I kind of wanted to make videos about that. So let me know if you guys want to see that in the future. And I also bought more dollar plastic bottles. Like you can actually, when you are creating floor washes, you let it cool down because you know the plastic will melt. You can spray it into the air. So you could make sage spray. You could make lavender spray. You can use it for, you know, to put it on your floors and mop over it. If you have like wooden floors like I do, you can't just cinch the floor with water because you're gonna mess up the wood. Hello, Kaden Patterson. You say I have a oh, you have a question? What's your question, honey? 'Cause I am open to questions today. And then I bought a pink one. So healing would be the pink one, and green would be the protection one. So I'll like put protection floor water or sprays in this one. And then the green one, I'm going to use it for healing. I don't like to mix it up. So okay, I never saw their question. So then I bought cold craft paper because I like this for writing petitions. You can use this when you're petitioning a spirit or you're writing, you know, like magic paper. I know it has like polka dots in it, but if the insides are plain, so you could use that too. Because in a lot of hoodoo, we use a lot of paper bags. So that's like the same material as paper bags. And I got that from the Dollar Tree too. And then I'm going to be decorating the background again. So I got 6 of these mandala stickers for $1. So I'm going to use them for my background. I'm going to leave that there because I don't want it to get messed up. So I'm going to bless those and like fix the background where I like make videos. And then I got these pretty mirrors because mirrors are very protective too. So you can buy something like this and it looks like decorations. And you can actually like anoint it with Florida water and like read some psalms over it or pray to a protective spirit. And a mirror literally, like if somebody sends negativity into your home, you can send it back to the sender. So this is good for like protecting your doorways. Or like me, like I deal with a lot of people spiritually, so it will be good to like protect my background. And it looks cute. And then I bought more pens for when I'm writing petitions or different colors. Hello, Kim. And I bought more matches. So because I use them a lot. And I bought more push pens for Baneful Magic. So hi, Kim Barrett. How are you? Thanks for joining us. I was just showing stuff that I bought at the dollar store. I was showing this. I don't know if you caught this. Because I use mirrors a lot for protection. So I bought these for like background. I'm gonna dress them, you know, I'm gonna bless them with some Florida water. I'm gonna pray, read some psalms over it. So if anybody wants to send any negativity my way, it's gonna bounce back to the sender. So, and they're cute, like to decorate your background with. You can use it to decorate your house. And nobody has to know it's for protection. So because a lot of my stuff, I have a lot of protection in my house. People come in, they don't even know because I hide it behind stuff. So I don't live in the most open-minded community. So yeah, so you can use them for protection. That's what I do. I always in my hi Nikki in my old apartment. Okay, I always had mirrors. When people came into my house, I always had mirrors, but they were like decorative mirrors. And an old santera said, you know, you can take those mirrors, you can anoint them. And so when people come into your house, it will reflect the negativity back to the sender. Like it's very important to protect your doorways. Like I have hidden things on my door. That's like my first line of defense before even my spirit room or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like I have my door blessed and protected. I'm always washing my doors. I'm always, you know, there's certain times of the week that I'm mopping. So when I want to bring something in, I'm mopping from the outside to the inside. When I want to remove something negative, I'm mopping from the back to the outside because I want it to go away. So I do that a lot, you know, even if you're not a spiritual worker, like you should do that because you know, every day we're around other people and not everybody's positive. So, hi, Mr. Whiskers. How are you? And love, light, and blessings. And welcome to my free chat, my little live stream. So I was saying to the new people that came into the chat that I was thinking of doing a do-it-yourself series where it's not really spells, but I wanted to share rituals that I do. For instance, creating floor washes and showing you how I bless them. I mean, you can actually watch me make them, things like that. Also, I wanted to share moon ritual that I do that I think anybody can do. It doesn't matter what path you're from or whatever. So I wanted to do that on video for you guys. So like a do it yourself. And I wanted to do a series on part of the do it yourself series, like how to create spiritual waters. Like let's say you don't have Florida water accessible to you. That I do know how to make recipes that you can make your own inexpensive Florida water and things like that. So I was thinking of doing that, like, you know, bringing some witchy stuff into my channel. I got these two for the elements, so they were cute. I got I got like 4 of these. The lady was really nice at the store because she like put it in the box for me. But I'm gonna use this, like put little tea lights on it. So when I do, because I want to record a new moon, like a moon ritual for you guys, I bought these because I do work with the elements. So wanted to put like candles on here to represent like the elements and stuff. Yeah. So I got like 4 of those. Trying to see where she put the other one. Oh, I got this one white. And where's the other one? Where are you? Yeah, I think I showed all 4 of them. This one and this one. And there's another one somewhere. But yeah, $1. You could buy all different colors. So let's say you don't have a color candle. You can use a color glass. So let's say you can't find a red candle. You know what I mean? Just using whatever you have. I used to do that a lot. And then I also used to use herbs that represent the elements too. So, and this is the other one. So that's 4. And then, oh, that's 4. Sorry, the blue one. I was trying to find it. Okay. And then I work a lot with glass. This is good for, I use it for, I read water. Okay, so the stores that carry Florida water. Terrence Tyson, are you around any type of Hispanic community near you? Like Spanish people, Mexican, Cuban, Puerto Rican, Dominican, like any like that around you? Because you can go to a Spanish supermarket. That's what I do. So I go to my local C-town and they have, it's not a spiritual section, but like Spanish people love their Florida water, right? So they have a section, like they'll have the $1 one, and then they'll have like the other one is like $3.50, the Murray and Lemon, but you can also buy the $1 one. So I buy it there because I used to buy it in Amazon, and I also buy it at my local bodegas, which is like a, I don't know how, convenience store. That's how you say it in English. So if you have a Latino population, more than likely you're gonna have Florida water somewhere. So they'll have it under like the medicine home remedy section. So that's where I get my Florida water from. Other than botanicas, which are going to charge you an arm and a leg for them. So I remember I went to a metaphysical store that actually was charging $24 for 1 bottle of Florida water. And I was like, you're crazy. So if you could like Google like a Hispanic, that's where I get all my saint candles, because in African like spirituality in, you know, the Americas and the Caribbean and the certain parts of the United States, we synchronize a lot of the African spirits with saints. So if you know what saint, for instance, Oshun would be Caridad de Cobre in the islands. So then you would buy that saint, and that represents Oshun. So, and those candles could be anywhere from $1.50 to $2.50. So, because if you go to your local like botanica or magic places, some of my clients have paid like $8, $10, $15, $20 for a candle. I'm like, it is not that serious. Or you can even, like, if you know her colors, like her colors are like the colors I have on my nails, like orange or yellow, you know, you can get orange or yellow plain candles. So, and if you don't have anything else, you can get a white candle. You can print the picture out of her, glue it up, you know, on the outside, and you know, spirits understand too what we don't have access to. Yep. Exactly. See, she went to Key Foods. And then when you see them have it, like I literally bought in one of my videos, I sold sulfur. That's why I do haul videos, to be honest, because I'm trying to give you guys ideas of where to buy stuff because like my mom taught me. Yes, I come from a tradition and everything, but my mom left for a while and she went back into like fundamentalist Christianity. So the stuff that she taught me for a long time, she was like, it's evil. So it was just me by myself, kind of, because I didn't have her to like tell me what to get stuff. A lot of it was trial and error. So I was like, I would just go and I'm like, oh, Walmart got a candle section, or I'll go to a Spanish shop, like, oh, there's some Florida water. And I would do it that way because I like the Botanica near me is pretty far. Like one of my clients drove me there and I went there and I was stocked up on a bunch of candles, but like I can't do that every day. So I tried to get things where I can get things, and then whatever I can get, I ordered online too. Um, Papa Legba is not an Odisha. That's not an Odisha at all. You're mixing a Santeria and Voodoo. Papa Legba is not. You will go through Elegua. Legba is a Loa spirit, so that will be if you want to talk to a Loa. And Odisha and Aloha are two different things, two different African tribes. Yeah, so you would talk to Elegua. Elegua. A lot of people confuse them. Like a lot of people confused. You're very welcome. A lot of people confuse too. La Serena, which is a Loa, and she is a mermaid spirit. And a lot of people confuse Yemaya. So Yemaya is Nigerian, and she's a dark-skinned woman. And one of her pataki, so one of her stories is when her children were going through the Middle Passage, she saw the suffering of her children. And so a lot of people were committing suicide. They were, you know, trying to jump off the boats and things like that. So she left Nigeria and went into the new world, followed the kids into the new world, appeared to them as a saint so they could be able to worship her, to honor her without getting killed for it. And so that's Yemaya. She's a very motherly spirit. One of her attributes is the moon. She's the moon too. She's also the ocean, but she's also the moon because, as you know, scientifically, moon cycles affect the water, the ocean's water, the waves in the ocean. So she's a very moon spirit as well. Whereas La Serena is more of a seductive spirit, and she's not as motherly as Yemaya. So they may be cousins because they're from two different African tribes, but they're not the same spirit. A lot of people confuse them. So I understand the confusion because a lot of people give misinformation and say Legba is Santeria or Ifa, and he's not. He's Elegua. So it could be Elegua could be an old man or a young child, but Elegua and Elegba are two different spirits. So hopefully that answers your question. How to pray to an Odisha? How to pray to an Odisha? Okay, that's a really good question too. That's a really good question. See, this is why I wanted to do this because I feel like a lot of people are very selfish, like, you know what I mean? And like don't want to be, you know, and I love talking about the black spirit. So anyways, so how do you pray to an Odisha? There's two different ways. So the way that I would petition them will be different than somebody who's not initiated. But what I always tell people, and this is the common misconception that's out there, you do not have to be initiated to petition an Orisha. Okay, you don't have to be initiated. You only need to get initiated if you're planning to do things for other people, if you're planning to teach people, if you're planning to be an elder, if you're planning to do rituals and works for other people, and if you want to, when you get initiated, they give you the full power of the Orisha, which are not statues. So the statues you see on YouTube, those are not that's not the real Orisha, right? So that's more the saint. So we can petition the saint. So how you petition the saint, you would first go through Legua. You have to open up your roads so that the spirits can listen to you. And then you will go through the Orisha. So that answers two things right there. You can never, in African traditional religious practices, talk to any spirit. And I'm going to tell you why. In Santeria, an initiate learns how to speak Yoruba. So when you are initiated into Santeria, they teach you the original language of that Orisha, and you also learn their patakis, which are like Bible stories. Like a Christian would, you know how when a Christian gets baptized, like anybody who has been Christian, you will go through like courses where you will learn certain Bible stories. What does it mean to be baptized? What does it mean to be reborn? You learn about, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, so on and so forth. So that's the same thought. An initiate of Santeria will be like a pastor of a church. You have a congregation, all the congregation prays to God, right? And then you have the pastor who's like, when you get initiated, you are responsible for the people that you take under mentorship and the people that you give religious counseling to. So you don't, you know what I'm saying? But doesn't mean that everybody has to do that. You don't need like 20,000 pastors in one church, right? So like I said, that I'm getting ready to answer that question because I want to make sure I'm very clear, because again, I'm showing something to you and I don't want the bad karma. So that's what I'm trying to. So the way that I will petition them will be different because I'm an initiate of a tradition. So somebody who isn't, you would just pray to them like you would pray to a saint. So Caitlin Patterson, think of it like a saint. So I would try to find online, like, let's say you want to petition Oshun, so she'll be Caridad de Cobre. I will find a prayer to Caridad de Cobre. I will petition her as a saint because you have not yet learned who she really is as an Orisha. And that's where we can get into trouble because, okay, so in African tradition religion, we don't believe in like the devil, but every spirit has a negative and positive aspect. So the same way that Oshun could love you and give you love, abundance, money, fertility, marriage, and all that, in her negative aspect, she can take love, marriage, fertility, and everything away too. You have to remember everything has a positive, like a human being. And so when we start to delve into stuff that we don't understand, we could accidentally like bring in the negative part of her. So the safest way, what I did for many, many, many years was I petitioned her as a saint, if that makes sense. So let's say you want to petition El Legua. You can petition El Niño. I will write that down for anybody who wants to write this down. El Niño de Atoche would be the saint, or Saint Anthony will be another saint that most commonly will be used with Elegua. So you can petition them. You see what I'm saying? Because then that's like the lighter, more positive aspect of that spirit. Hopefully that's making sense to everybody. So that's what I would do. Because once you get initiated, and I'm not trying to freak anybody out, like the spirits will actually start to possess you. And I know that's where some people get kind of afraid of that. Like, I don't want to be possessed by a whole spirit, so unless you know how to deal with the possession, you have people around you and stuff, that can also be kind of a little dangerous too. There's a certain way that even that has like a protocol to it too. So hopefully that kind of answers questions for everybody. Oh, another thing. Do you know who Spirit Conchita is? Conchita? Conchita would sound more like a Madama spirit, which a Madama spirit is something that you do not have to be initiated to talk to. You do not have to be initiated to talk to your actual ancestors, like your bloodline. So Conchita could be a Madama spirit. Madama spirit is not just a spirit, it's many spirits. Many, many, many spirits. Many healing culandera spirits, hoodoo practitioner, root workers, voodoo sans, Hugan, not Hugan because that's a male, but Mambos, things like that. So Santeras, it's who you had in your bloodline kind of situation going on. I know who you are, babe. I know who you are. I know who you are. Yep. But I'm going to tell you guys a secret. Today is my actual birthday. Like today is actually my birthday. And that's why I wanted to do a live stream. So today officially, as you guys are talking to me, I'm officially 40 years old. I've had a great birthday. My daughter baked me a cake. The kids cooked for me. I had a beautiful birthday today. And I just kind of wanted to do a live stream because I'm like excited. I bought these two things too at a dollar store. Like you can use your vinegar stuff. Thank you. These I use for, remember I said the spray bottles. You can also use this to keep your floor washes in, or your spiritual baths, which I'm gonna do it yourself. I'm gonna teach you guys how to make spiritual baths. Oh, very cheap. I'm not going to make fancy spiritual baths, and I'm gonna tell you why. I want to teach you guys how to make spiritual baths of things you could actually have in your cupboards, because people be too fancy with it, and not everybody can get dragon's blood and flower of oud and the alligator toenail from like that's just no. So I got these two things here, and I'm gonna use those for that, and oils like altar oils. You can always put altar oil there too, like make yourself a holy oil, a psychic oil, or something like that, and things like that. I consider myself kind of both, because I'm going to be honest, I don't feel like a Taurus. I feel more like an Aries. I get along a lot with Aries. Certain Tauruses I get along with, but not the ones in the month of May all the time, because they're very earthy, and I'm not. I'm a very stubborn person. I kind of know what I want, you know what I mean? Oh, I know what I want in life. Oh, like I was saying, I bought two of these champagne glasses because I like to put water on stuff. I like to read spirits. So if it bubbles or it doesn't bubble, the spirit lets me know if they like the offering. So this is a little good tip for everybody. If you're going to offer something for a spirit, give them a clear glass of water. And usually if the cup is bubbled, it means the spirit likes what you gave them. Now, if you're using this for cleansing purposes, bubbles may mean you actually trap spirits in the water. So like there's a bunch of stuff, but this is good for like you can put like just cold water in it. You never give a spirit hot water, and you could read the bubbles, and that will let you know the spirits are around and they like the offering you gave them. So good divination, and it costs $1 because tap water is free. So just a little tip there. Happy birthday, Kim. See, but you're a Taurus in April, so you're kind of on the cusp too. You're probably more of an Aries than a Taurus. You know what I mean? Like April people it's just a little different, It's like you're between the signs, so it's kind of like you have traits of both things. So it's a very interesting thing. It's a very interesting thing. Thank you for all the emojis. I love them. And then I bought this for ancestors. Yes. Yes, it means that the spirits are around you. So it depends. Now, if you're putting it into an altar where you're offering something to a spirit, then yes, I'm happy you gave me an offering. But now, if you're putting it on your door for protection, that means you have a lot of negative spirits, and the spirits are catching them for you. And that's where herbs come in. So if you're doing it for protective reasons, you should add some protective herbs, like maybe hyssop or rue. Okay, you can crush up some camphor on the top of the water, because then you put it into protection mode. I can't answer that right here in the free. Like I would have to read on your situation. I can't just know on the top of my head if that's they accepted your offering. But if you didn't go through a legua, most likely the Orisha didn't. The reason why Kate Caldwell Patterson, you should always go through the road opener, because you might actually attract a spirit that's not an Orisha. We have a lot of things called deceiving spirits, right? So it may say it's an Orisha, but if a spirit is wreaking havoc in your life, it's most likely not the real spirit. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a protection for yourself too. You know what I mean? Like it's a protection for yourself too. That's why I always tell people to build a relationship with your actual bloodline first. Because let's say you had a really great grandmother who was like a very religious person. So I would get her a Bible and I would pray to her, or a grandfather, or whatever the case may be, or a great grandma or something like that. Like I started with my ancestors first. So I practice more epiritimo spiritualism first, and then build it up. Thus, my ancestors brought me in their spirits, because our spirits, we inherit them from our family. So somewhere down the line, when people are reading you and a psychic says, oh, you have this spirit, that spirit, that spirit, maybe it's not your immediate family, but some ancestor in your bloodline served that spirit because that spirit is in your court. A court spirit is a family spirit. It's a spirit that somewhere down the line, somebody in your family served that spirit. And that's why they're in your court, because you literally inherit them. So if you guys have children, whatever spirits you serve, they get passed down to your kids, and so on and so forth. Hello, Latoya Palmer. Love, light, and blessings. Thank you. I like that. See, that's good. That's good. There you go. So you can do that. You can, and always change your waters. Don't ever let the waters get stagnant. Stagnant water will bring negative spirits. Don't let your offerings get stagnant, guys. You know, if you want to take if it's a food offering, take it out the next day or the second day. If you let stuff rot, you can actually attract the negative aspect of a spirit. Always give spirits fresh food and fresh water and fresh libations, because you can actually attract, thank you, Latanya, you can actually attract something negative. So when you're doing healing stuff, when you're doing positive stuff, you give cleanliness, cleansing your house, giving the cleanest, freshest offerings, keeping your shrines and altars cleansed. I'm not saying be perfect with it, but you know that saying cleanliness is next to godliness. That's like a real thing. I got this for like an ancestor because it has like a nice little cross. And I work, I do both. I work hoodoo. I do hoodoo. I keep it separate and practice Santeria, and I practice voodoo. So some of the voodoo spirits that I serve like black and white. So I got this for that altar. They're like ancestral spirits. So and you could just put like a tea light there and stuff like that. So I got that for $1. Does a Florida water in a crystal bowl by your bed attract prophetic dreams? Yes, Terrence Tyson, that does. Yes, it does. I'm going to tell you something, Terrence. If you did that, that was literally your ancestors telling you to do that. And I'm going to tell you why. In the path that I follow anyway, so I can only speak from my experience. Our ancestors would use, because Florida water was created in the 1800s, okay? So we already know what was happening then. So when they would put Florida water in a clear bowl, you can even mix some like cold water and put it by your bed. That does, because water is a portal to the spirit world. And Florida water would give it the added protection. So only that which comes to light may enter and nothing else. You can even say that when you do it, like, and may only that which comes to light may enter and nothing else. Anything of malicious intentions are not welcome here. It will open up your intuition, because water, even in tarot, is intuition, emotions, and feelings. So yes, that can lead to prophetic dreams. It can lead to spirits contacting you. So that's why the ancestors are important, because building an ancestral shrine, building a white altar, which is something that's a lot in the islands, and they even do it in voodoo and Santeria too. They have a white altar, which I made a video about that. I think Nikki, you saw it and you loved it. That's what the white altar is. The white altar is your conduit to directly contact your ancestors, to elevate your ancestors. So all you have to say, so it will depend on your background. So let's say, Nikki, you have Christian, I'm gonna speak on my behalf because I can't speak on other cultures. So if you are black folk, if you black like me or whatever, most of our family, everybody knows, was Jesus people. They love Jesus. They went to church. They did their thing. So even if that's not what you do, you should still give respect to that spirit. So I would have a Bible by my white altar. Um, a clean glass of water, a white candle. That white candle is going to light the way for your ancestors. Because remember, in the afterlife, they don't always have light. So we're lighting their way. So when you light a candle, you draw the attention of the spirits. That is why we light candles, or we make hoodoo lamps back in the days, because before candles, we made hoodoo lamps. I still do that too. A lot of my practice is me making hoodoo lamps, oil lamps, and things like that. When you light that, you're calling in the spirits, like, oh, somebody's asking for something. So you're lighting the way for your ancestors. The water is a conduit. It's going to bring spirits into your home. It's why you keep it fresh, you keep it clean, and you keep it cold, because you don't want to attract hot spirits. Nobody wants to attract hot spirits unless you're planning to do some bad hexing stuff. We want to attract the cool spirits. So that would be that bowl or that cup is the way you communicate with those spirits. You don't need to put food on it. It's just the water and then a plant, some kind of living plants. Some people have cut flowers, which is great, then they die out. But like, let's say you don't have money to buy fresh flowers every day. You can take a plant. I had a plant on mine because I don't really like the idea of cutting, like buying cut flowers all the time. I feel like I found out some stuff they do to people in Africa with that. And I'm not into like polluting stuff. So I buy a live plant because in a lot of like our African ancestors believed, and so did my Taino ancestors, that the trees are a link to our ancestors. So the roots on the bottom is who you are. You are nothing without the roots of the tree, because without a roots of a tree dies. So when they were coming into the new world, they had a thing with trees, because they said, even though I'm not in my homeland, I can touch the trees and know that the bottom of those roots, somewhere down the line, my ancestors are there. Like, I can communicate with them, because they all, no matter what part of the world you're in, we all go back to the ground when we die. So that's the symbolism of having a life plant. It is our way of communicating to our ancestors, and it's a way of linking us to our bloodline. And that's why I always recommend do a white altar, build the relationship with your ancestors, because if you had a good grandmother, grandfather, uncle, auntie, cousin, sister, whatever it is, they're only going to bring good spirits into your life if they're good people. We don't put people that committed suicide in a white altar, and we don't put people that never liked us in real life in a white altar. And you literally bless everything. Why do we use white? Well, in my culture, the Tainos use a lot of red and white. And in African traditional religion, white was a color. If you look at voodoo rituals, if you look at Santeria rituals, they dress a lot in white. White is the closest thing to creator in that tradition. So it's always important to have the family in those altars. Those are very important. Why do you use, well, it depends what tradition. So I made a video called Hoodoo. I don't know if you watched it. And when I made a video on Hoodoo, I literally was saying that when it comes to Hoodoo, it's working the roots. So it's believed that they are spirits that live in the roots. So that's why in a lot of African cultures, they call it working the roots, because shamanism, and it's not a disrespectful thing. Yes, Native Americans have shamans, but we have to also remember that our Black brothers and sisters, our African brothers and sisters from the motherland were also shamans in their own right. They were medicine women, they were healers, they were kings, they were queens. They knew all the remedies, they knew what every plant was. So if we want to take it back to old school, it's important to know roots, because then we start conjuring up like the real spirits, because that's how they worked. We didn't need fancy stuff that you buy at the, and I'm not trying to like this, the magic shops, but you should always work with roots, because one thing, our ancestors, when they lived in America, when they lived in the islands, they had nothing. So maybe they had to steal a couple of pinches of roots or something that grew in the backyard, and they did their magic that way because they worked with fire. That's why I work with fire in a cauldron, because my ancestors did that. My mother told me stories about that. We didn't have candles. We didn't have pink candles for love and red candles for passion and all. Like, that's nice, and I'll use it, but I also stick to my roots, because I want to pay homage to those that came before me, to those that maybe they got whipped for that, maybe they got killed for that. I always respect the people that paved the way for me to openly do what I do, because even though I can't shout to the mountains what I do, I still have it a lot better than they do. And I always try to keep that in my mind. So, when you build that relationship with the plants do the spiritual work. There are certain roots that Oshun likes. There's certain roots that Yamaya likes. And there's also fruits that they like. And so it's important to know the magical properties and also the healing properties, because remember, our people, healed themselves with herbs before medicine. And I'm not saying don't go to the doctor, but with me personally, like sometimes I respond better to home remedies than I do to what a doctor gives me sometimes. And so that's why I have medical books, because I do have a medical background. I used to be a nurse. I made sure I did that because I want to know, like, let's do some home remedies before I will go to a doctor, unless it's like a life and death, of course, come on now. But, you know, so that's why it's important to do that. You know, you can do there's healings, and there's also like just medicinal. Like in Haiti, they would rather go to a Hugan, a Mambo, or a Bakul. So like the priests, the initiates of that religion, before they will go to a doctor, because they'll give them the herbs and they'll heal their conditions, and it's cheaper than going to a doctor. So it's more of like a cultural thing. I can't speak on Western paths because I don't know, you know. Like I said, if you take a clear chalice like this and you fill it up with water and it has bubbles, most likely that spirit likes your offering. That will be the easiest way for me to tell you to do that. You know what I mean? Until you feel comfortable enough with the spirit directly talks to you and you're having a conversation with them. And things, because I do that, like, but that takes time. So I used to use a cup at first, and I'd be like, oh, the spirit likes it, because that's how my mother taught me. I don't know what other people do. I'm just giving you what my mom taught me. Like, my mom taught me everything through water. Like, before I read cards, I used to read water, you know what I mean, with the egg and the water and that kind of stuff. So that's how we did it in my house. So I'm just passing that on. And then I got these basil. These are actually, like, they smell like basil, and I was figuring this will be good for like the maybe like a Madama spirit, a Native American spirit, because they like fresh plants and stuff, and it smells like basil. Like, it's really nice. It's $1 too. So I was thinking of using that for like an olfactory candle for the spirits. Please give us your email. Oh, if you go to, okay, so the thing about my email, Miss Julio Jones, that would depend on the person's case. I'm not familiar with the person, so I don't know. I've done more than one spell for a person, you know what I mean, for clients that come to me, because I am a root worker professionally. I don't know the case of your person, so I would not be able to answer that for you. It goes case by case, so you would have to, talk to your spirits and things like that. Yes, like I said, bubbles can be a sign of negativity. If you're doing a glass and you're trying to do protection. So if you're feeling negativity in your house and your glass has bubbles, it means that the negative spirits are being captured in your cup, because that's what you put the intentions for. Remember what I said, they're very complicated, because it's kind of like a pendulum. Think about it like a pendulum. Okay. A yes will be a certain direction, correct? Like, you show me the yes, show me the no. Depending on your question, a yes could be a bad answer, because maybe you're asking the spirits, is my man cheating on me, or is my girlfriend cheating on me? You don't want to hear yes. So that yes is bad for you. Or somebody could be asking, does such and such love me? That yes is a good thing, but the yes is bad for another person. Same thing, depending on what you're setting your intentions for. So if I'm setting this as an offertory cup of water, then bubbles are a good thing. If you're setting it up as a boveda, so a boveda will be your ancestral altar. In an ancestral altar, that will be a bad thing. Why? Because an ancestral altar is for protection. So if you have a lot of bubbles, that means you have a lot of negative spirits in your home. So see how it depends. It goes by case scenario. It's not just a quick, like, it's bad or it's good. It depends on what you're setting your intention for. Because when you put those chalices in ancestral altar, you're setting the intentions. Spirits, protect me, guide me. That's what ancestors are for, protection and guidance. So there. Oh, and as far as my email address goes, I only do emails for people that are interested in my services, because I do psychic readings, I do spell work, I do rituals, things like that. I can do a voodoo ritual, Santeria ritual, chakra healings. Like, it depends what the person wants. That's who I usually email, because If I get too many emails, it takes away from me emailing my clients because it's just too, it will get lost. So I only have a professional email. You can always contact me on, my videos and leave comments, and I always answer them. But I try to save my emails, which is in my website, for people that are asking me questions about they're looking forward to doing like working with me in the future. I try to keep that kind of separate from the comments on YouTube. Yes, I do. I do readings. I do mentorship and all that stuff, but I don't do initiations because I've gotten a lot of questions about that. It's not that I can't initiate somebody. Initiations are very sacred. So if I initiate somebody and they only use what I teach them for bad things, you know what I mean? Because first of all, I would have to take a whole year out of my life to go back and forth with you to the islands. It costs a lot of money. I don't do all that. Like I mentor people kind of to start the relationships. If down the line you're called to do this or something, and the spirits are like, yes, initiate this person, because then you become my godchild and you're pretty much stuck with me for the rest of your life. And what if you don't like me in real life? You know what I mean? Who wants to be stuck with somebody you might not like? So I'm very hesitant with that. I feel like too many people are just initiating everybody, and it starts to lose its value. Oh, thank you, Sahara. Yes, incense can be used to communicate with the ancestors, my love. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. Please forgive me, but do we go to St. Anthony every time, or is it? No, 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 Caden Patterson, every single time. And another thing you have to learn before you petition a spirit, you have to build a relationship, because then that's fine. If you don't feel anything negative, then your spirits are probably just happy, you know, unless you're setting them up for protections. Um, what I was saying, I lost my train of thought. Oh, build your relationship with your spirits, because too many people, they'll be like, oh, that spirit. I'm not saying you did that. I'm just saying an example. Oh, Oshun looks really cool. Love her color. She's the goddess of love, which she's not a goddess. I've said it a million times already. Hi, raw spirit. And so they'll just start petitioning that spirit. Like, yes, I want all this stuff. But did you ever even like give her a gift for no reason? It's like me and you. I don't know you, and I just met you 2 seconds ago. Well, for example, I know Kim wouldn't do this, but let's say Kim. Okay, Kim, I met you like 5 minutes ago. I gotta go to work tomorrow, so you're gonna watch my 4 kids. Okay, girl, see you later. Yeah, girl, woo. You be like, excuse you? Like, I don't know you like that. So remember, some of the spirits don't know you. So like you have to, hey, my name is such and such. Start giving them offerings, have conversations with them, learn what their color correspondences are, learn what their offerings are, like learn their relationship. Because for instance, Oshun, I don't know if a lot of people know the story of Oshun. Oshun was rich, but Oshun was also poor. Oshun used to have a white dress actually. And the color yellow, a lot of people give her that color. But did you know that the color yellow sometimes in certain aspects, because every spirit has 100 and something paths. Elegua alone has over 100 different aspects of himself. And he has Elegua and then another name attached to it. So it's, you know what I mean? So it's not just one Oshun. In one of her paths, the color yellow brings her sadness. Why? Because she became an outcast of her village, and she lived by the ocean, and she was crying. And like when you are out in the sun burns things. It turned her white dress into a yellow dress because it was dingy and it was old and it was tattered. And then she gave the last of what she had to the spirits, and they gave her back everything she lost and then some. So Oshun becomes a queen. It is why Oshun, from her children, would accept something like fruits when she's a queen, because she is one of the women of Shango, who was a king in Yoruba. He's a king. So they have status, but yet she will take a humble offering because she knows what it's like to be poor, and she also knows what it's like to be rich. You see what I'm saying? So this is why their stories are important. If you know their story, then you know how to better serve them. Because sometimes when we petition like that, it actually offends the spirit. Nobody wants to feel like they're used. You need to know what day of the weeks that you're supposed to serve them. What day does that Orisha actually, because you're only supposed to pray to them on their days of correspondences, not always every day, unless it's a special case for something. Unless it's a working that you and her made a deal with. You're not supposed to talk to them every day. They have, like, for right now, I don't know any book suggestions, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna promise you guys that I'm gonna start looking into that because I've bought books and they suck. Sorry, I don't should be rude like that, but there's a lot of misinformation in them. So I found one book that's good so far. Sahara, I'm gonna find that one book that I found. It's more Ifa than Santeria, but it has some decent information about her correspondences, her days of the week, what songs to sing to her. And he kind of approaches it where they're not god and goddesses, more of an African. But you're not gonna learn like all the patakis in it, but you could at least get a start. So I'm gonna find that book in my library, and then maybe like today or tomorrow I'll like give you a link where I bought the book if you want that. It's by Baba Ifa, so I'll give you. That's the one in book that I found. It doesn't have everything, but it's at least get your feet wet, you know. Exactly. So the stories are patakis are passed down verbally, so they're family stories. When you get initiated into the religion, they give you the patakis. That's part of the secrets. But I'm just sharing like some stuff to give you guys like an idea, you know. No, her days are not Thursday or Friday. Her day's Saturday. So yeah, this is what you said you've heard, and when you read stuff, you got to be careful. A lot of people write books that are not initiated. They're writing it for more of an outsider's perspective. So yeah, that's cool. So that's why I was thinking, guys. I was thinking that in the future, I think in the fall, I'm gonna have uh courses, and I'm gonna try to keep the price as reasonable as possible. But I think I'm gonna have like a 6 week course. It's gonna be a one-on-one course, not like a bunch of people. So we'll set up time according to my schedule, your schedule. And I think, I don't know if they're going to be an hour long class. I don't know yet, but they're going to be, you know, some time. And I'm going to be doing like intro. Like a lot of people are interested in the Orishas. So I would do a non-initiate way of actually serving the spirits, you know, manifestation, how to build the relationships in a safe way, so on and so forth. So, but they're going to be paid. So I have to charge for my services, but I'm going to be doing that because I'm finding a lot of people having troubles finding books. Then you buy one book and then the other book is the opposite of the other book. And it gets very, 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 very confusing. So Mr. Julio Jones, yes, the flames dancing on a candle. Again, the same thing with water. A dancing candle could be a good, yes, Yemaya is on Saturday. Very good. Yes, 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 yes. And Yemaya and Oshun get along very well. Caitlin Patterson, I have videos on the Orishas when I first started my channel. I'm gonna try to make like a playlist because I actually talk about Yemaya and Oshun, Shango, Elegua, Babaluaye, and I think in a couple of other ones. So I did Orisha videos. So you're welcome to look into them, and they're very simple 5-6 minute videos just to kind of get, you know, your feet wet and stuff like that. And okay, so the flame dancing could be good or bad. It could be removing obstacles. It could be the spirits are working on your cause. It could be the spirits are dancing. So again, it would depend on the spell. It would depend what spirit it is. So it depends on the situation. You know what I mean? I can't really read other people's candles unless they're like a client of mine and I know why they're doing it. Because I don't know what you're doing it for. So it could be a good or a bad thing. It depends on the situation. Cartomancy. So that's going to be part of my course. Okay. I am going to be doing so a magical course intro. I want to do like those things for like and do individual stuff. Cartomancy, if people are interested in that, I can make classes for that too. Because I love cartomancy like that. I love tarot, but cartomancy, and I have a feeling I know why you're so into it. In Haiti, that's a big thing they use divination for, and a lot of African traditions, cartomancy actually is what they use, not tarot. So that's what I first learned on too. And then coming into America and stuff, you do your thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Again, Julio, that depends what spirit did you petition. That spirit could be happy. That spirit could be telling. So it's not just the flame of the candle. You also have to, what is the wax doing? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel, so when you are doing a spell, do you feel the spirits in you, around you? Do you feel their presence? That It's all of that. Is the candle dancing to the back like this way? Is it dancing forward? Is it dancing up and down? You know, so it depends what activity the candle's doing would be how you read your spell. So um for candle for candle, you know what? You're inspiring me to make a video, Mr. Julio Jones. I have found some interesting books on candles, like how to read candle flames. So I'm going to go through my library, and I think I'm going to do a video on books that I suggest that you can read to kind of read your candles a little bit. So we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. Well, that would make sense because Shango is the patron of music. So that might mean he's very happy with you. Yes, Terrence, I have. I practice voodoo. I practice Santeria. So when I do voodoo rituals and Santeria rituals, all I'm playing is the African music. So I get possessed by spirits. I speak different languages when I get possessed because I only speak English and Spanish. So and so yeah, that's what I do. It's what I do. So I do. I can't tell you everything I do in a ritual because that's secret stuff. But yes, so for example, in voodoo, the African drums, there are certain rhythms for every spirit. So you have different nations. You have your Raga, you have your Petro, and you have your Gede. Every spirit has a certain beat, right? That's how our ancestors did it. And so when I'm playing a certain beat, that spirit knows to come through. You're conjuring these spirits up. When they hear their song, like for instance, Ezuli Danto is a Petro spirit. She's a fire spirit. Her music is very fire. So she's up, boom. She knows she's coming through. You got Ogun in both Santeria and Voodoo. They have Oguns. Oguns are warrior spirits. There are Congo spirits. They're the spirits that fought oppression. They're the spirits that, they know how to fight. They know how to remove obstacles. They know how to protect. They're gonna have fiery music versus a spirit who's love. She's gonna have softer music, And so those beats and those words is what is the way that you communicate with them in the practices that I do. So in Santeria, it's the same way. Oshun has her music. Shango will have his music and his beats. And for learning how to master the African drums, people in Haiti study anywhere from 10 to 20 years before they're allowed to play in a fete, before they're allowed to play in the parties. It would take 10 to 20 because you have to do it a certain way. That's what we have to be careful with, those things. Oh, angels. That's good that you asked that. So I worked with angels. It was one of the first things that I worked with. Those are safe. I used to use them for chakra. And she's talking about Oshun, honey. And so, but now you learn something new. And so now you'll be like, okay, I got to talk to the road opener first. I got to do it on her day. We good, so on and so forth. So it was okay. That's what we're here for, to learn. That's why I wanted to do the live stream. I feel like we never get to ask questions. Sometimes people don't want to ask the questions on the comment section. So I just felt like, let me just have an open forum today. But yes, to connect with angels, I did it through the chakras. I bought this book. I think I recommended it to my other clients too. Angel Bible is one of those. Oh, sorry about that. Angel Bible. I'm like misspelling stuff. It's called Angel Bible, and you can get it on Amazon. I think they're like less than $20. And I know I spell angel wrong, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. So it's called the Angel Bible, and it has like how to make an angel altar, how to know when the angels are connecting with you, how to correlate the 7 powers or the 7 angels that stand before the throne of God, like where they would correspond the 7 points or the 7 spiritual points or the spirit wheels, the chakras in your body. So that was one of the first spiritual books I ever bought, and I love it. And when I was leaving, because I went into Christianity myself too when my mom left. I went into Christianity, then I went back to my roots. I started with the angels first. I explored in Wicca and it didn't resonate with me. And then I went back to what my mother used to do, which was Santeria, Voodoo, and Hoodoo. So I went back to my practices. At the end of the day, I went back home. So, but I started with the angels because I wasn't ready to delve into ancestors yet. So, so that's what I did. I would suggest you create an angel altar, and you could even do like a gratitude journal, and just start building the relationship with the angels. They're very healing. Like Archangel Raphael is good for traveling. Archangel Raphael is good for the heart chakra. Archangel Raphael is good healing marriages, healing so you healing your relationship with others, opening you up to unconditional love. Archangel Raphael is good with protection and is also good with communication. So, that book teaches you a lot of stuff. So I actually found that book to be very good. And I had a near-death experience, and I saw the seven heavens, which I've never heard about it in church. And the angels look a certain way. They were kind of scary, but they didn't feel bad. And all of a sudden, I was watching somebody's YouTube channel, which she doesn't have a YouTube channel anymore. And like the way that she described the seven heavens was exactly what I saw. And it was like, I was like, oh, so the angels opened me up to then having the native spirit that came to me, and he brought in the other mysteries because I also have native ancestry as well. And he brought in the African spirits and so on and so forth. Like they all just started coming in after a while. But that took a lot of years. I would not abalone shells. You can use them for holding sage if you want to sage stuff and things like that. So I don't really use abalone shells that much. I use it to hold my incense, to be honest. So like if I have sage or that kind of stuff, and I use it for like smoking, but that's about all I use my abalone shell for. So yeah, yep, yep, yep. I also bought these patchouli. These are patchouli and mandarin. So I'm gonna give these to some spirits that I serve too, because patchouli is good for money. So is basil. Basil's good for money and love. So you can even buy those dollar candles that I showed you, the basil candles, and do a money spell. Put it in the money altar. You can put this in the money altar too, because orange is also money. So, and love and attraction. And then I got more of these. These have actually worked out really good for me. The dollar store. This has actually worked out good for me. Using baby oil because it has mineral oil in it. It is mineral oil, has worked out for me because I used to use a lot of expensive oil base, and I don't sell my oils. They're for my use. And these work just as good as the fancy oil base that I was doing because I make my own voodoo oils and things like that. So and then put my herbs, essential blends and things. This has actually worked very well for me because I told you guys I would do an update on it. I love it. And I bought like 4 more of them because I used the other 6 that I bought because I have just recently created more oils and stuff. But that's pretty much all that I bought at the dollar store. Other than this, one last thing I want to show you. I bought 2 of these. Isn't this the cutest thing you ever seen? It's coffee candle, but it looks like a coffee cup. And I like to give spirits like there's spirits that like the smell of coffee. And also coffee in my culture is good for clairvoyance and things. So this will even be good if you want to tap into your third eye chakra. You can light a coffee candle. You put your intentions in it. Coffee is very good for exorcism, healing, communicating with ancestral spirits, and divination. So a good spiritual coffee bath does wonders. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. You don't have to be fancy with it. You can literally buy spiritual stuff for $1. Yes, there is, babe. So when he asked about the abalone shell, remember, I think it was Julio Jones that asked me, you use it because it usually comes with a stand. You use it as the base because you don't want to be burning yourself with the thing. So you can walk around with it. You could recite Psalms 23. You could recite, You can recite a lot of songs. You could recite. I like to use. I can't think of it right now because on my live stream, so I'm like having a brain fart. But I like to like if I'm trying to take a demonic spirit out, I start quoting scriptures about how Jesus took demons out of a person and put it in the pigs. I just start like I'll just start doing scriptures. I'll start doing the All Father. I'll start doing the Hail Mary. Like we just be having a church. But yeah, so I just walk around the house. Open up your windows because when you're saging, you're trying to get rid of something. So you have to give a spirit a exit out. Don't sage your house, everything's closed up. I even go downstairs because I live on the second floor of my house. So I will go downstairs to my main door and I will sage the hallway and then I will physically open my door and you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I did. Who have created the Veves? Are they originally from the ancestors? Okay, so the Veves, which I'm not gonna teach on my channel because you can get in some big trouble if you don't draw the Veves right. Even me, I have gotten in trouble with the spirits because those spirits are very. There's these two spirits in voodoo. They're the first Hugan and the first Mambo. And God forbid you ever talk to them and you don't draw the Veves right. Like I've seen them type violent. Like, okay, sorry about that. So you know what I mean. But with the Veves, like I'm still working on it myself. A lot of books have them, but they're incomplete. I noticed that they're like incomplete. So with the Veves, there's two ancestors. So a lot of these religions, so Veves are Haitian voodoo or Louisiana voodoo. So Creoles or Haitians, right? And Louisiana voodoo Veves are different than Haitian. So I don't practice really Louisiana voodoo. I practice Haitian voodoo. So I'm gonna talk from Haitian voodoo's perspective, if that's okay. So with the Haitian Veves, they had Tainos. A lot of people from the islands know that we all had Tainos, like the Taino Indians. The Taino Indians and the Haitians, the Africans that came into Haiti, they had similar religious systems. So the Tainos, they're learning this now, also used to have what they will call today bebes, and they made them out of cornmeal. Okay, and remember when everybody was trying to escape slavery, they would go into the mountains and they will converse with the Tainos. Okay, they will converse with the Tainos. And they shared a lot of similar spiritual beliefs. So the Tainos did bebes, but so did the Africans. So it's an infusion of Taino spirituality and African spirituality, which became what we call today voodoo. So it was actually created by both. Because if you're from the islands, you have Taino ancestry and you have African ancestry. And Espiritismo is the same thing. Espiritismo criollo es Taino, but they are African influenced and as well. And most things from islands, because we are a mixed people, like people in Louisiana, because even in Louisiana, no matter how dark skinned you are, when they do their Mardi Gras, they do tributes to the Indian Native American spirits too, because you can be a Black Native American. Not all Native Americans are going to have jet straight hair and lighter skin. Like that's not the way it goes. Remember, Indian people come from different tribes, have different coloring, different everything. So it was actually co-created by the Tainos and what we would call today the Haitians. So yes, to answer your question, yes, it was created by the ancestors. It is a way to communicate with the spirits so they could come down. And when you know how to draw a veve, like you get the spirit. You know what I mean? There's a big difference. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, sweetie. Oh. So yes, it was created by the ancestors, love. Hmm. Yes, because okay, you know why I know about like scented candles? Let's be real. So I've been a middle class working person, like I'm middle class now, but I also been a small military wife, a middle class single mother, but I also been a low class, like low income, mom who had to live on assistance when I got away from my abusive husband. Like I've lived all kinds of things in my life, which I like in a way. I'm thankful now, I wasn't thankful then, because it makes me who I am and it makes me relatable to my clients, because I can read anybody from any walks of life. I can be the single mother, the woman that was married, the military wife, so on and so forth, the college mom with the kids, you know what I mean? And I had to learn to go to the dollar store because my mom always did. And when you're living in low income housing in the city, you're prone to get little visitors. And I cannot be having an open glass of coffee, because then I'm going to attract some creepy crawlers. So I would do candles with the same scent. I'm just being real. I can do that now, but I couldn't do that then. You know what I'm saying? So I always know how to do different things because everybody's life is different. You know what I mean? So I grew up in the projects. You know what I mean? We couldn't leave open food in the projects. And it's not because I'm making fun of the projects. I lived in New York City projects. It is what it is. You had neighbors that didn't keep their place clean and unfortunately attracted things. So my mom will always do a lot of sensitive stuff. And then we also did deals with the spirits. Like, so I'm going to leave this plate out. And then by a certain time when the ritual's over, I'm going to put a glass Tupperware. I'm going to put the lid on it. I'm going to put a candle on top of it. You ate it, but I'm going to keep it in your altar for a little while, but I'm not going to like let it attract stuff. I would have to do a reading on you on that, sweetie, because that I would have to know what your orishas are. Because the thing about orishas, they have to be willing to work with you and they have to call you into serving them. So I would have to make sure that you have one that wants to help you with that, because yeah. So that would be kind of a hard question to answer on the YouTube live stream. Julio retracted his message. Until I know it's correct. Oh, Kaden Patterson, you're so cute. I love that, King Barry. You make coffee every Monday. That's a beautiful thing. He loves his coffee, and coffee is good for clarity. I don't know if you know why we give Papa Legba coffee. We give Papa Legba coffee because he's the Lord of the Crossroads, and he's clarity. Elegua and Papa Legba, which are two different spirits. The reason why you go through them, because like I was saying before, I think I didn't finish saying that. When you get initiated, you learn the traditional languages of where they come from. Because most of us are speaking to them in English, Legba and Elegua know all languages. They have one foot in the living world and one foot in the world of the spirits. They translate for us when we petition the spirits. So you know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? So if you're not speaking their native tongue, that person becomes a translator for that spirit who most likely speaks their native tongue. So Legba translates our communication between the spirits and them. Well, I made videos on that already, so but that's not sensitive to me. The reason why I made this channel is specifically, there's 3 reasons. And one of the reasons is the question you just asked me. I've watched too many videos on people sacrificing animals, taking their heads apart, throwing them on an altar, blood everywhere, eating some stuff. Like, it was just ridiculous. I'm like, what is this about? So that's no and no and no. I have seen that sacrifice. I've been in rituals and that I can do that. Whatever, I can count on one hand how many rituals I've seen that in. So those are life and death conditions. So let's say somebody is like dying and they need a miracle. There are spirits in voodoo and in santerias that reign over death. And you would give them an animal. So you will give them their animal. You're not torturing it. No, it's not about making the ritual stronger. Let me elaborate. Again, it's only done in life and death. So blood, ashe. Blood is ashe. Blood is ashe. Blood is life. Blood is life. And a lot of the rituals that I've been a part of, we actually eat the meat. The blood is offered to the spirits. We eat the meat. I'm not going to get too into that because I feel like that's not really something I should be talking about live stream. But for instance, in Haiti, that could be the only meal those people ate. The food is shared with the community unless there's a sickness or there's something malicious being taken out. That meat is not eaten. So that's sacrifice. It's for a reason. It's an offering to a spirit. It is not something that you do every single day, especially in the United States. So in Haiti is a whole different thing. And the reason why I made a channel is because we have to understand something in the Western country or even in the islands. When our people were being colonized, enslaved, they knew that black magic, which I'm using the word black magic as in people of color magic, African magic, Native American magic, black magic, people of color. They wanted to demonize our practices because there is power in our melanin. There is power. You know, these religions, a lot of people think started in slavery. Even if we synchronize the saints with the spirits, these are religions, even hoodoo were religions that were practiced by kings and queens. This and our history is before slavery. We have come from kings and queens, and we have to remember that. And so they were so afraid of how powerful because they captured Hugans, Bokuls, all that stuff. In one of the stories of voodoo, they captured the first Hugan and the first Mambo. And that's why when you do a ritual to them and you don't do things the right way, they get very angry. Why? Because they were already disrespected by their oppressors. How dare you, their children, not take time to study how to properly do a ritual for them? See what I mean? So when you know their stories, you understand. There's a money spirit in voodoo that's dark skinned that was made fun of because in Loas were actual living people. He was made fun of his whole life for being a dark skinned man. And so if he sees somebody of a dark, lighter pigmentation, especially a female, you have to talk to him a certain way. You can't, oh, I want this, I want that. There's a certain way, very submissive, not because he's sexist, because he doesn't know if you're going to come with the, I'm lighter skinned than you, therefore I'm better than you. See what I'm saying? This is why their histories are important. You need to know what is the history behind the spirit that you're petitioning. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of people want to use Shango for love. We don't use Shango for love if you're a female. Shango may be in love with you, may actually make your man not want to come back because he likes you. He may help you, he may not. So even with Shango, we gotta be a little careful as women. Shango might be like, well, I want you for myself. I don't want you to go back to your husband. So, you know, we gotta be a little careful. Exactly. A lot of those people do that for show because they can tell people anything and don't know about exactly. Oh yes. Oh, I love Ogun. Ogun, Miss Julio Jones. Ogun is I love me some Ogun. I love me. No, they're not. So the Loas are in Louisiana, and because remember, Catholicism was a very good way for us to hide our ancestors. So they're more in people in Louisiana, which their voodoo in Louisiana voodoo they do serve orishas. Just to let you know, that's more of a mixture of the religions. Whereas Haitian voodoo is purely Loas, like it's more of a pure one. Not one is better than the other. I'm just telling you the differences. They work with Loas, and no, Loas are not the same as orishas. Orishas are from the Yoruba. A lot of the Loas are from like a different tribe, like the Homi, so on and so forth. Yes. And the way that a Brazilian would serve Oshun would be different than somebody in Santo Domingo and somebody in Puerto Rico. They all have different name, like they'll have a different way of pronouncing her name, a different way of spelling her name, and so on and so forth. Because remember the different languages and all that. But you know what I'm saying. So it's Candomblé is not the same thing as Santeria. Ifa is the purest sense of the religion, which is in Africa, and they don't use saints at all. So like so on and so forth. Yeah, so it's very complicated. There's a lot to this. And I feel like I see so many videos of people like, yeah, I talk to leg by leg. I'm like, what are you talking about? So it is crazy. But my biggest pet peeve, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble if somebody from channels are watching this. If I'm taking your money that you work hard for to do a spell, I'm not going to record your spell and show it on YouTube. Like, why are you showing your client spells on YouTube? If I was a client, I'll be mad tight. Like, So you're showing everybody my money spell. So you don't know the other witches are going to be watching your channel and possibly undoing my spell. Thanks. Like if I wanted to do that, I would just do a spell myself and record it on YouTube. Just saying. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. If you're taking somebody's money and you're actually like showing their spell on YouTube, I don't understand that. That's weird to me. This you could do a spell for yourself and show people. Like I'm gonna do stuff for myself, but I'm not gonna show stuff. What I do for my clients is my own business and their business. Like that's no. Yes, the Loas actually worked the earth. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They're people. Orishas are people. Shango was a real king. He was a real. His name was not Shango. His name became Shango when he became a Orisha. But Shango was a king in Yoruba. He was a real person. This is what people don't understand. They're not mythological people. They're actual people. Some of them, like Yemaya was always Yemaya, but like Shango was an actual person that committed suicide, but he was a real person that later on became an Orisha. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was an actual person. A very handsome king, by the way. You know, very dark skinned and beautiful. Got all the girls. He had all the women. Because Shango has a lot of women, you know. He has a wife, but he has a lot of women and stuff. Some of them are sisters and everything. So they be fighting with each other. But anyways, that's another story for another day. Yep. Yes. Now you don't mix your Shango and Ogun together because Ogun and Shango don't get along. They're brothers, but they don't get along. And Oya and Oshun don't get along either. Or Shango's first wife, but she don't get along with Oshun. Oshun doesn't get along with a lot of people when it comes to Shango, anyways. But you know. Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. Well, guys, I have to do a reading in like 5 minutes. I have an appointment. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for an hour and a half today. Thank you so much for helping me to reach over 1,000 subscribers. I actually never thought anybody would be interested in anything I had to say, to be honest. When I made my channel, I kind of made it with low expectations. I'm not gonna lie. But thank you to all my clients, my people that actually have met me on YouTube and book services with me. I thank each and every one of you because you guys help me to do this on a full-time basis and provide for my 4 children as a single mother, as a divorced mom. So I thank you that I'm able to do this for a full-time thing. I love you guys when you guys do comments on videos, like, subscribe, you know, and everything like that. So it's gonna most likely be in September or October. So I'm gonna get the price points. Really talk to the spirits how I want to do it because I want to make sure that when you pay for it, it's actually worth it and it's not something you could read in a book. You know, like I want to really do something with that. So I will be letting you guys know. But much love, light, and blessings. Thank you for the question and answer. And if you guys really enjoy this, I was thinking about doing this at least once a month where we would do something like today, like it'll be like on a Saturday night. If you guys are down for it, and you guys can ask me questions like you did today. If I can answer them, I will. You know what I mean? So we can continue to do these live streams and you guys can you know, ask me questions. I'm an open book, okay? Much love, light, and blessings. Thank you so much for joining this time because I know you guys have things to do with your life. And I know, thank you. Yay! I know. Oh, I'm gonna do another one next month. I'm gonna do another one in May, most likely maybe Mother's Day or something. So I will be posting the date on that. So I'm going to be doing these more often, tribal women. So there's more to come. Much love, light, and blessings. Thank you so much for being with me. Love you guys to death. And I will see you guys later. Bye.